Toronto, the Argonauts and the Ottawa Rough Riders. Final meeting of the season between these two teams. Ottawa has lost the previous two. On July 19th, 21-17, and on the 22nd, 22-17. Ken Lazarick will be the referee in charge of proceedings here at the Sky Dome this afternoon. And he'll be ably backed up by these gentlemen: Cam Picard, Art McAvoy, Turk Trentani, Bernie Presco, and Ross Hutchinson. The Argonauts coming off a big win last week. The Ottawa Rough Riders played perhaps their worst game of the season as they lost to the Calgary Stampeders.
That was really a strange one. You know, they had the big win the week before against the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, and I know, John, you and I thought they would come out just smoking, and for some strange reason, they were pretty flat in their game last week against the Calgary Stampeders. Hopefully, on this Thanksgiving Monday, they come up with a lot better effort.
Ready for the kickoff from Lance Chomik. Squibs this one along the ground. It comes up short. Taken by Paul McGowan, and he's out to the 47. So the Rough Riders begin with good field position.
Well, the one major addition that they have made to their offense this afternoon will be Cornelius Reddick is back at the wide receiver spot. He played a couple of games early in the season for Ottawa, broke his wrist, and he is now back at the wide receiver spot. There you see him. That allows them, of course, to move Gerald Alphen back to the slot back that we talked about in our opening. Tremendous receiver inside. Kenny Abraire having a pretty good year, as well as Ray McDonald on the outside coming over from Saskatchewan.
First offensive sequence of the afternoon for Damon Allen, and this is Chris Skinner. Skinner finds a good hole out across midfield, almost to the Argonaut 50. A gain of 17 for Skinner.
Well, this is something the Ottawa Rough Riders have not been able to do a great deal of this year, is run the football. Last in the league in that department, and if they could do that somewhat today against the Toronto Argonauts, it would really bail out Damon Allen so he doesn't have to feel like he has to throw all the time.
On 1st and 10, batted down, and it drops to the ground. Looks like it might hang up there, and the Argos might have a shot at the interception, but it'll be 2nd and 10. Rodney Harding got a hand on that one, number 77. Veteran defensive line for the Argonauts. There's a couple of changes at linebacker from a week ago, with Willie Pless seeing his first action this week.
Boy, are they happy to have him back. Of course, such a leader with that club for 3 seasons. He's back, and I'm sure he'll give the entire team a lift this afternoon.
2nd and 10, Ottawa. Allen goes to the far side, and it is picked off. It'll be an interception, but no return for Reggie Pleasant, who jumped in front of that Damon Allen pass and grabbed it down near the 45. Phil Bayless, number 99, put pressure on right here.
Good pressure on Damon Allen. You know, they give up a lot of sacks, the Ottawa offensive line, and Reggie Pleasant, who's the best ball hawk in the secondary. The Toronto Argonauts has his 7th of the year. Good field position for John Kangemi to start their initial drive.
Hudson carries, and it is Pleasant who turns it over for the first time. Tough catch, too.
He's one of the best
like that.
It really is. He's one of the better ones in the league. All-Canadian last year. Had 7 interceptions in 1988, and so far in 89, he has now equaled that total. Certainly his best season in his 3 years as the Toronto Argonauts.
2nd and 5 for the Argonauts. From the 47th, and Jemmy to the far side. Should have a first down. Eric Hoskins, number 23, made the catch. Then Jemmy with Fennerty and Hudson, the running backs. Darrell Smith and Eric Hoskins inside, and outside Willie Sneed, number 14, and number 88, Paul Mazzotti. It is a first down for the Argos. Just shy of midfield at the Toronto 54. Gil Fennerty, and Fennerty has maybe 2.
offensive line for the Toronto Argonauts, anchored by the two huge tackles, Chris Schultz, Kelvin Prinster. Prinster 265, Schultz 275, and well, they have to give John Conjemi time to throw today.
2nd and 8. Right at midfield for Conjemi and the Argonauts. No score early in the opening quarter. Conjemi, man open far side. That was Gil Finnerty. He was tightly covered by Paul McGowan, number 29.
The Argonauts have really been a Jekyll and Hyde team on offense this year. You know, they are plus 12 in the takeaway giveaway category, and that would indicate that, quite simply, they just have not been able to move the football. That was an indication. Finnerty probably should have made that catch in years gone by. He's been able to make some tremendous catches for their offense. This season, boy, they have struggled. Last in total offense. Surprising for all the talent that they have. I know they've had injuries, but boy, they've still got some personnel, good personnel in there.
Glenn Harper for Pee Wee Thurman, bouncing to Thurman at the 15. Not much running room. Well covered by Argo Special Teams is Pee Wee Thurman. And we have a timeout on the field. So far, no scoring for the Argonauts and the Ottawa Rough Riders. Our TSN Game of the Week continues live from the Skydome after this. The week live from the Skydome, the Rough Riders and the Argonauts. No score so far. Bob Ovilovich, the winningest coach in Argonaut history.
Well, I think, John, he's thinking, let's win this game today, get in the playoffs. I mean, we've had a horrible start to our season. Only 5 wins out of 13 games, and then let's just gear up for the playoffs. I mean, I think everybody has to look at Winnipeg last year and what they were able to accomplish. And Bob Ovilovich, I think, is probably thinking along those lines. Mike Roach, 45 years old, takes over as the head coach today. Steve Goldman observing Jewish holiday Yom Kippur. Been in the CFL for 8 years. Originally came in with the Calgary Stampeders under Jack Goda. Moved to Edmonton for a few years, and now, of course, over his normal duties include handling the defensive line and the linebackers for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Sort of like that old TV show. Remember Queen for a Day? Mike Roach, coach for a day.
For a day.
Ottawa first down, no score. Early in the opening quarter. And no running room for Chris Skinner. Stopped by Don Moen, another number 36. Pretty good numbers for Damon Allen. Not enough victories on the season. 16 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. There are quarterbacks with better records in the league with less stats than that.
That is correct. One of the biggest problems for Damon Allen this year has been the sacks against. You know, they are worst in the league at protecting the quarterback, and it has taken its toll.
2nd down, Allen has Ruddick, and Ruddick is out of bounds. Cornelius Reddick got himself wide open, but couldn't stay in the sidelines.
They're happy to have him back in the lineup. Unfortunately, Damon Allen led him a little too far on that pass play. He originally began the season with the Edmonton Eskimos. In fact, Cornelius Reddick played the first 3 games for them. Was put on waivers, came to Ottawa, played 2 games, broke his wrist, and now this is his first game back.
Tom Schimmer had some difficulties a week ago on the exchange from center. And here's the pinball. Mike Clemens, tackled by McGowan. The Ottawa 51. 38-yard kick, a 10-yard return.
Pinball had a big touchdown last week on a punt return, as you see, against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And what was a key victory for Toronto if they have any hopes of finishing higher than 3rd place in the Eastern Conference. Going into today's action, they trail the Bombers by 4 points. Bombers, of course, playing later on this afternoon at Commonwealth Stadium.
First and 10 Argos from the 51. Conjemi has time to throw over the middle. As Hoskins, his 2nd catch of the day, and he's inside the 30 at the 27. Daniel Hunter making the stop, a 24-yard gain.
That's a good throw by John Conjemi. Usually the territory occupied by Scott Flagel, he could not get there, neither could Tyrone Pope, number 6. And John Conjemi with a good strike. The Argonauts in excellent scoring position.
First down Argos. The pitch to Finnerty. Finnerty tries the left side, has a couple. Finnerty he missed the previous 2 games. He has averaged 5.2 yards a carry in 89.
I'm sure if you talk to Bob Obilovich, he will tell you the running game for the Argonauts is only as good as the blocking of number 37, Warren Hudson, the big fullback. And that time, a good lead block for Gil Fennerty.
A 5-yard gain for Fennerty. This is 2nd and 5. The Argos at the Ottawa 22. Looking to the end zone. Conjemi can't hang it on. Darrell Smith. Sigh of relief for head coach for the day, Mike Roach.
Now, I would think a huge sigh of relief. Oh, boy, is that not typical of the way the Toronto Argonauts season has gone. A perfect strike by John Conjemi. Threw it before Smith made the break on the out and up. Should have made the catch. Should have been a touchdown. Should be 7-0 Argonauts right now, but
it may be 3-0.
Well, it may be 3, but Dale Smith should have had that one.
Lance Chomick struggled early in the season. He has been on target of late. And he is good on his first attempt this afternoon at the Sky Dome as the Argonauts move out in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders 3-0. Lance Chomick, perfect so far. Our game of the week, the Argonauts hosting the Ottawa Rough Riders. It is 3-0 Toronto on the Lance Chomick field goal. Toronto won the previous 2 meetings this season. One of the losses was certainly a heartbreaker for the Ottawa Rough Riders. In fact, they were in both of those ball games, losing 2 games to Toronto by a total of 9 points.
22-17, 21-17. Boy, you look back on your season, and those are games that you feel like you've got a great opportunity to win, and yet you just can't come up with it. Well, that's what happens to a young team like Ottawa.
On the return for the Rough Riders. Reddick finds himself a bit of a hole. He's out across midfield to the 54 of the Argos. Cornelius Reddick. Pretty good tandem back there on kick and punt returns with Pee Wee Thurman and Cornelius Reddick. Second time that the Ottawa Rough Riders have had good field position. Down for Damon Allen and Ottawa. Just across midfield. Pitch to Skinner, and Skinner off the left side, still going. Skinner comes up with a first down all by himself. Gain of 12. Reg Berry and Don Moen making the stop.
Some good blocking up front by the Ottawa Rough Rider offensive line. Number 55, the right guard, Brad Tierney, around the corner. Of course, he came over from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in that trade earlier this season for Nick Benjamin. And he's filled in nicely at the right guard spot.
Ottawa first down at the Argonaut 42. This is Skinner once more, and a flag goes down as Skinner grabs close to 5 yards. What was the infraction, partner? Well behind the play.
Yeah, I would think when they throw it from back there, it's usually 9 times out of 10 the old hold.
Holding, Ottawa number 55, first down repeated.
Brad Tierney, the right guard, number 55, gets caught for the holding penalty, and the Ottawa Rough Riders, who have moved the ball well most of the year through the air, this afternoon come out running.
That has been a particular problem for Ottawa most of this season, running the football. They had some success early against Calgary last week with Skinner in the backfield. Allen over the middle. Alphen has the catch. Alphen a couple short of a first down, but he's very close. Tackle made by the middle linebacker Chris Gaines, number 38.
That's why Gerald Alphen is so good as a slot back. His size, 6'3", 215. Now, Carl Brazeley has pretty good coverage on him here, but Alphen, with his good size, just shields him off, makes a nice catch, and boy, when it's 1st and 20 and you can get back 15 yards on one play, that's good offense.
This is 2nd and 5. Allen himself, and he slides close to a first down. We'll wait and see where they spot the football, but Allen might be close.
Well, John, you know, you and I talked last week about the selective running of Damon Allen. I mean, he doesn't have to run all the time, but at certain times in a game, he has to take control of it. That time, he saw quickly that the pass pattern just was not going to develop. He said, boy, I better go and try and grab those 5 myself, and he's awfully close.
It'll be third down. What, about half a yard?
Half a yard, and Mike Roach's first
decision.
Semi-big decision. I mean, this isn't a huge decision, but...
No, it's inside the 35 of the Argonauts, so a missed opportunity here on a third down gamble will not necessarily kill the Rough Riders this early in the game. They trail 3-0 to the Argonauts. Third down, less than a yard to go. Allen himself, and no flags down, so the Ottawa Rough Riders gambled, and it pays off.
And guess who he followed on the quarterback sneak? Number 65, Gerald Roper, of course, is in his second game with the Ottawa Rough Riders. Scott Flagel, you see, he came over to trade a few weeks ago for lineman Ray Robertus.
5 minutes, 31 seconds to go in the opening quarter. The Argonauts lead the Rough Riders 3-0. Ottawa with a good chance here to get some points on the board. First down at the Argonaut 31. Allen, the draw to Conrad, and there is nowhere for Conrad to go. Rodney Harding was right on the running back. Lost a couple late.
They did. Rodney Harding, the all-time sack leader for the Toronto Argonauts. You know, he's got 3 career interceptions, 1 already this year for a touchdown. So Rodney Harding always around the football. There you see the graphic.
This will be 2nd and 12 for the Rough Riders. Back now to the Argonaut 33. Toronto leads at 3-0. Allen hit as he throws for Alphen, and Alphen turned around and then looked for it over the other shoulder. Allen was blindsided as he let this one go.
Well, this is what has happened to Damon Allen so many times this year. He really had to throw the ball before he was ready to throw it, and Alphen was ready to receive it with that pressure coming. Boy, he was open, too. He got in behind the middle safety, Floyd Salazar. Of course, that good pressure up front made that pass go awry.
Dean Dorsey had a pretty good week 2 weeks ago. Gets off to a good start here this afternoon. I wasn't sure that was going to have the distance, please. But Dorsey ties it up.
Well, it wasn't the wind.
And the wind was not a factor in Dean Dorsey's field goal attempt there. 3-3, Ottawa and Toronto. We're live at the Skydome. Our game of the week continues live from the Skydome. Gil Finnerty came up a couple of inches short, so this will be 2nd down, inches to go for the Argos at the 45. No problem at all. As Jimmy carries for the first down. Numbers from the opening quarter. 4-3 on the scoreboard. Ottawa with 81 total yards compared to 58 for the Argonauts. Ottawa time of possession 9:05 compared to 5:55. And the pleasant interception going against the Ottawa Rough Riders. That one hurt. But it is 4-3 Ottawa in the lead with the Argonauts now at first down. Argos at the 46. Kunjemi. Oh, intended for Paul Mazzotti. And Daniel Hunter had a shot at a major interception there.
Daniel Hunter, game after game, is getting better and better. He's playing his 7th game now for the Ottawa Rough Riders on the hot corner, which is the left corner. Hot corner with a right-handed quarterback against you. Kunjemi, of course, looking for number 88, Paul Mazzotti, who is starting at wide receiver today. But Daniel Hunter timed that perfectly. Boy, he's turning into a pretty good corner out there.
2nd and 10 for the Argonauts early in the second quarter. Kunjemi swinging it out for Gil Finnerty, and Finnerty has room to the far side. Finnerty gets across the 45 and down to the Ottawa 42. Darrell Hopper, number 91, finally bringing down Finnerty.
Over the years, this has been a great play for the Toronto Argonaut offense. Little swing screen to Gil Finnerty. Good block initially by 37, the fullback Warren Hudson. That gets Finnerty loose, and then he is on his own with some pretty shifty moves.
21 yards for Finnerty and a first down for the Argos. Now at the Ottawa 43. Finnerty once more inside the 40 to about the 37. Flagel and McGowan up to make the stop. Gain of 5.
There you see, he's always been a good receiver out of the backfield. Almost 8 yards every time he catches the football this year in '89.
Finnerty 84 yards short of 1,000 yards. And Jemmy. Finnerty not quite quick enough. Now to the quarterback overthrow. I think so.
I think so, Wellesley. Boy, he had him open. Well, you know, when you're struggling on offense, it just seems like those things happen time after time. You finally get a guy wide open, and you can't connect.
Kajemi will hold at the 45 for Lance Chomick. And Lance misses that one to tie things up, 4-4. Flagel back to give up the single points. Chomick had some problems earlier in the season. He thought he had them straightened out. Granted, that was a bit of a distance, but he didn't make it. It's 4-4. The Sky Dome, the lid is on this afternoon for the Argonauts and the Ottawa Rough Riders. Bit of a chilly day in Toronto, so it's nice inside. I'm just as happy they closed it today, Lee.
I am too. We've had a dome weekend, John. Of course, we did the big BC win this past Friday night over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Eric Streeter with a new club record. 14 catches in one game. He had himself a super evening, rather. And of course, we move on to the Sky Dome here on Thanksgiving Monday with the roof is closed.
Mike Roach in charge of the offense, the defense, and the entire Ottawa Rough Rider football team this afternoon. Steve Dolman is off for the weekend because of a high Jewish holiday, so he is unavailable for duty this afternoon. Mike Roach gets his first chance to be a head coach in the Canadian Football League. He's been an assistant for 8 years. First down, Ottawa. Far side, it's Alphen, and that's a first down. Alphen chased out by Carl Brazeley. Nice looking play.
Once again, back to the timing patterns for Damon Allen. Let's Alphen go down 12 yards, break to the outside. He throws it before the break. Pretty tough for Carl Brazeley to cover that. All you want to make sure is you don't let Alphen get away from you. Gerald Alphen, his second straight 1,000-yard season. So you see the numbers for him this year. Of course, he has a couple of catches already, so that is up to 55.
First and 10, Ottawa. This is Skinner. Skinner had a problem, then had another problem, and lost it finally. The hole was not there for Skinner. He lost the ball. It came back to him, and then he lost it again when he hit the ground. Recovered by Chris Gaines, the Argonaut middle linebacker. Tough break for Ottawa.
Well, it really was. He made a super move at the line of scrimmage to bounce it to the outside and get some running room, and then hard to figure out why he fumbled it. It just seems to pop loose. He had a chance to get it back, but Willie Pless with the tackle knocked it loose. Chris Gaines, number 38, with the fumble recovery. The Argonauts come up with their second turnover in the first half.
It is an Argonaut first down at the 55. Kajemi looks long, and Darnell Graham was the closest to the ball as a receiver. There's Chris Skinner. I guess when you have a fumble, you
tape up those fingers.
Tape those fingers shut.
And Chris Gaines, who made the fumble recovery, the new middle linebacker for the Toronto Argonauts. He replaced Bruce Holmes. Now,
did you ever have a haircut like that?
I don't think so. I don't think my mother would have done that to me.
Alex Bonton's had one like that all his life. Well, at least the last 30 years. 2nd and 10. Argonauts at the 55. Jenny, short toss this time. And that is Smith. Darrell Smith comes up a couple shy of the first down.
Paul McGowan, the middle linebacker, did a great job there. He would not let Smith get to the outside, turned him back in where he was going to get some help from the other tacklers on that Ottawa defense, and Smith comes up a good yard and a half short. There you see Paul McGowan, 29. Turn him back to the inside. He actually gets the initial hit himself. That's pretty good defense against a slippery receiver like Darrell Smith. When he catches the ball in the open field, he can be pretty tough to bring down. Yeah, he's looking for his 3rd straight 1,000-yard receiving season. I'm sure if he stays healthy, that should be no problem.
Glenn Harper back near his 50. They faked it. Heck of a fake as Hansen carries. Harper jumped high on the big kick. Ryan Hansen took a direct snap. Watch this.
That's great play. You know, you have to be thinking about that on defense. When the other team's at midfield with only a yard and a half to go, you really have to be conscious of a fake. Ryan Hansen gets to the outside. That's a big break for the Argonauts. Nice, well-executed fake punt.
19 yards, and the Argonauts toss to Finnerty on first down. Finnerty slashes inside the 15 to about the 12-yard line. A little more imagination for Obi's offense there late.
Yeah, I would assume that he called that play himself, and boy, that gives a team a lift. When you try those fake reverses, reverse passes, fake punts, onside kicks, and they're successful, it usually gives the whole team a lift.
Jimmy for Smith, and I think he's a yard short of the first down.
I think you got it, John.
You think he got it? Troy Wilson made the stop.
It's a good call by John Kajemi. 2nd and 4. A little quick out to Darrell Smith. He's good size. 6'2", 195. Makes the catch, and I'm sure picked up the first down. Here it is. Quick pass in the flat. Easy one to complete. Pretty tough to defend. Good pass down near the goal line. I think Ottawa have to come up and challenge those receivers when they get backed up on their own goal lane like this.
Argonauts then 1st and goal from the 7. Finnerty, room to the outside. Now he cuts it in. And he is met there by 2 Rough Rider defenders. Gary Columbus, number 98.
Great block by the right tackle, number 66, Kelvin Prinster. He pulls and comes all the way around the corner and seals Patrick Wayne to the inside. Finnerty gets around with some good running room, but a good tackle down by the goal line to keep him from scoring.
Gain of 5 for Finnerty. This will be 2nd. Goal to go. Argonauts at the Rough Rider 2. Finnerty once more. And he has the touchdown. It looked like he was stopped for a minute. 2nd effort carried Gil Finnerty into the end zone.
Good 2nd effort. Watch the hit. He just doesn't stop driving and gets the ball into the end zone. So the Argonauts, John, take advantage of that Chris Skinner fumble and turn that turnover into their first touchdown of the afternoon.
Needed a bit of a trick play on a 3rd down punting situation to grab a first down, and from there the Argonauts march into the end zone for the first touchdown of the day. The Argonauts out in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders, and it's 11-4 at the Skydome in Toronto. The thrill is back. Gil Finnerty missed 2 games back-to-back for the Argonauts. He now has his 9th rushing touchdown of the season. He impressive scoring drive for the Argonauts, 55 yards and 7 plays after a turnover. Infinity finished it off with a 2-yard TD.
Well, 29 of those yards on that fake punt by Ryan Hansen really set up the touchdown for Gil Finnerty.
Cornelius Reddick on the return for Ottawa. Good tackle. Harold Hallman. See what Damon Allen and the Rough Rider offense can do here. Argonauts with a chance to eliminate the Ottawa Rough Riders from the Eastern Division playoffs with a victory here today. Mike Roach standing in for Steve Goldman, trying to avoid that possibility and keep the Rough Riders' hopes alive a week or two longer. Trouble for Allen from behind. It's Harding. Sixth sack of the year for Rodney Harding.
Well, when Rodney Harding gets up ahead of steam, he can really get motoring. 6'2", 250 pounds. He comes untouched, and Damon Allen, there's not a chance he can get away from Rodney Harding. His sixth sack of 1989, and he just keeps adding to that career total. He's the leader, of course, in Toronto Argonaut history.
Substantial loss. This is 2nd and 24 Ottawa. For Orville Lee. Pretty good play for Orville Lee to get back near the line of scrimmage, but he was tripped by Don Moen.
Oh, that's good. Good call by Damon Allen. I mean, that's almost impossible to pick up the first down in that situation. So the screen was a good call. Get a few yards back, and now you have to rely on Tom Schimmer to come in and kick you out of trouble and play some good defense.
Schimmer grabs a high snap. It is blocked and taken by the Argonauts. Reggie Pleasant. Mike Campbell got through to block it, and Reggie Pleasant was standing underneath. Another turnover going against the Ottawa Rough Riders. That's 3 so far.
Well, you could see this one coming all the way. They had the big rush coming, the high snap, all contributed to Mike Campbell, number 69, having a pretty easy block. There you see Reggie Pleasant, number 2, with the recovery, and cast and all. He's got an interception, a fumble recovery. The Argonauts have 3 turnovers. The last one resulted in a penalty touchdown, and Mike Roach, you're getting a taste of what it's like the losing end as the head coach. It is tough.
There have been a lot of coaches in Ottawa in the past 12 months. This is touchdown time for the Argonauts out at the 1. The pinball was in. Mike Clemens, number 31, and he missed the touchdown by a yard.
Well, they get a little movement to the left. Chris Schultz comes around the corner with a good block, and Mike Pinball Clemens, with some pretty good speed, just gets knocked out on the 1-yard line. That's a well-executed running play. Chris Schultz with a good block. That's the 3rd time they've run that tackle trap this afternoon.
Argonauts with a chance to score their 2nd consecutive touchdown. Thanks to another turnover, it is 1st and goal to go from the 1. And Clemens carries it in. He got his first touchdown last week on a punt return. Now he has one along the ground. Pinball Mike Clemens gives the Argonauts a very substantial lead here with 5:52 to play in the opening half.
Now, once again, the Toronto Argonauts take advantage of the turnover, and it all culminates with the 1-yard run by the Pinball. 2nd touchdown, as John told you. And, you know, after last week's big win in Winnipeg, kind of thought the Argonauts might come off this afternoon with a little fire, and they certainly have, as they've gone to an 18-4 lead.
Back-to-back turnovers have cost the Ottawa Rough Riders a total of 14 points. the Sky Dome in Toronto. The Argonauts lead it 18-4. All of a sudden, it's a long way back for the Ottawa Rough Riders. 18-4 on the scoreboard. 2 turnovers have cost the Ottawa Rough Riders 2 touchdowns. Tough to be a winning coach for the Ottawa Rough Riders in the 80s. Who tried it last year? Fred Glick, then Bob Weber.
Joe Moss before that.
Joe Moss tried it.
Yeah, you know, Mike Roach, of course, coaches the defense, mostly the line and linebackers. In defense of them, the offense can put them in some pretty poor spots. Fumble by Skinner, then the blocked punt. So you can't ask the defense to be out there for the entire half and not stop the Toronto Argonauts.
A little pressure on Bob Obilovich this season, too, hasn't there?
A ton of pressure on him. I mean, he is expected to win, and they just haven't been winning.
Cornelius Reddick on the return for Ottawa. Reddick finds a seam and lost the ball. It's going to go to the Toronto Argonauts once more.
Peter Mangold, number 20, I believe, comes up with the fumble recovery.
4 turnovers.
Well, you see Reddick cuts back, and he's waving the football around a little bit. It's a good hit right there. The ball comes loose. Peter Mangold with the recovery. The Argonauts really have a chance to put this game away. There you see Mike Campbell with the face mask. Must have missed it.
Another turnover. Another Argonaut first down. They begin this sequence at the Ottawa 44. And Warren Hudson gets up near the 44-yard line. Peter?
Michelle Lammy on the sidelines for the Ottawa Rough Riders. He hurt his ankle in the turf here at the Sky Dome. He will have it looked at the intermission, and we'll try it in the third quarter. But if he can't play, that's just one more loss for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and they don't need any more bad reports at this time. John?
Well, Peter, that's why he has been out of the lineup for so many games. It is a bad ankle, and hopefully that's not the same one that has kept him out of the lineup. They really wanted to see how he would play this afternoon at that left tackle spot.
2nd and 2. And Bennerty grabs half that. Michelle Lammy.
Yeah. Only his 2nd game. He hurt the ankle early in the year, and they really wanted to see how he would perform. 6'4", 290. Now, he played at Sequoia Junior College in California, and anytime you're at a junior college in the States as a Canadian, you're not eligible for the main draft. So that means he is a territorial protection of the Ottawa Rough Riders. Nobody else could draft him. You know, I'm talking with Nick Volpe, the Argonaut player personnel director. They were quite interested in him, but of course, he was of Ottawa territory, so they couldn't do anything about it. Nick Volpe also doubling today as our isolation director.
Nick's having another good day. Actually, we can't say truck here, can we?
No.
In the production facility. The control center at Dome Productions. The television facility built right into the Sky Dome. 3rd and less than a yard. The Argonauts convert again. There is no penalty flag down. So the drive stays alive for the Argonauts. 3 turnovers in succession. Smile, Leaf. I think you're on. There you go. Here's our location. High above center field here, and that's one of the 43 camera locations that are wired into the Sky Dome for every sport and convention one could imagine. Here is Conjemi for Bennerty. And Bennerty has room to go. Stopped by Scott Flagel and forced out. Out at the 12 is Fennerty, who's enjoying being back in the lineup for the Argonauts after 2 weeks on the sidelines. Look how open he is.
Yeah, second time they've run this play. This was the swing screen once again. Joe Sabala, the defensive end, got in the way initially, but Fennerty just kept going downfield. Kajemi was finally able to hit him. The Argonauts really look like they're putting pretty good offense together this afternoon. 22-yard pickup on that catch and run for Gil Fennerty. He is having himself a good first half. The Argonauts have been the recipients of a number of turnovers, 3 turnovers, actually 4 turnovers so far by the Ottawa Rough Riders this afternoon.
That's Troy Wilson.
They do not want to lose him from the lineup. Their leading interceptor, their leading tackler. I don't think you like it when a defensive back is your leading tackler after 13 games. The numbers for Gil Fennerty this afternoon: 2 catches, 43 yards, 9 carries, 43 yards, and 1 touchdown.
How did you read that, Fennerty? I thought that was fettuccine.
I just know what Bobby Layden is giving me. It's a code that we've had for 9 years working together.
It starts with an F, I can tell you that, and I don't know what it exactly ends in or what comes in the middle, but I guess those numbers are right. Toronto Argonauts have a couple of Berries in the defensive backfield. Ed Berry and Reg Berry. Number 13 and number 18.
Reg Berry picked up at a free agent camp in Michigan this year and spent some time on the practice roster. Of course, he was in there because of the injury to Doran Major.
Here's Hollywood Johnson on the sideline. Rick Johnson, he was an all-Canadian quarterback for the Calgary Stampeders. And I thought he was a pretty good quarterback. He came back to Calgary and had a few problems, couldn't get the team moving, and finally ended up going into acting in Edmonton. Now he's back home in California, and he's working on his acting career in Hollywood. But he's also doubling as a quarterback.
1986,
Hope his bubble doesn't burst here.
Well, back in 1986, he had 31 touchdown passes, so he can get the job done, no doubt about that.
And Jimmy on the roll, touchdown toss. Paul Mazzotti. In front of Daniel Hunter.
Nice play action and the bootleg. John Kajemi probably could have run this ball in himself, but he saw Paul Mazzotti come open on the out in the end zone. Good throw. Mazzotti, nice job working back to the quarterback. The Argonauts have really taken control of this game. It looks like they can do pretty much anything they want.
3 turnovers and 3 touchdowns. Latest touchdown, 12 yards. John Kajemi to Paul Mazzotti. Injured on the play is Joe Samalo, number 74. Joined the Rough Riders from the Calgary Stampeders. His first game a couple of weeks ago, he was absolutely outstanding.
That was in their win over the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Last week played pretty well, too. And boy, so often happens, a new guy comes into the lineup and injects some enthusiasm. I know that's what the Toronto Argonauts were expecting and hoping for this afternoon from Willie Pless.
25-4 now, the Argonauts in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Could be a long one, Wilsey.
It could be a long afternoon for Ottawa. Now, they were in the ball game at 4-4 until they coughed it up 3 times in a row. I don't think Damon Allen has had his hands on the football for 40 seconds in the last 5 or 6 minutes of official time. Latest turnover, 49 yards away from the goal. And 4 plays later, the Argonauts are into the end zone with a 12-yard toss from John Kajemi to Paul Mazzotti. Win this afternoon, the Argonauts are in the playoffs. Guaranteed. Now Reddick coughed it up last time. Something to prove here. Reddick looks Looks to the outside, and there's nothing out there. Reddick dropped near the 27. So the Rough Riders begin with not the greatest of field position.
Well, Paul Mazzatti was the first pick for the Toronto Argonauts in the 1988 college draft in his second year from Acadia. He does a nice job on Daniel Hunter. The left corner goes down deep into the end zone, runs the comeback pattern, and keeps himself between the defender and the ball, and shields off Dan Hunter, makes a nice catch. His third touchdown of 1989.
Tough task facing Damon Allen now as he begins at the 28 with a first down. Allen swings it ahead for Orville Lee. Lee crunched at the 39. He should have a first down. He does. Lee has been playing with quite a bit of enthusiasm over the past couple of weeks when he does get his hands on the football. It was last week that he was taken out of the starting lineup for Ottawa and replaced by Chris Skinner as a starter. But Orville Lee has the Ottawa Rough Riders with a first down. 3-minute warning is up at the Skydome in Toronto. And the Ottawa Rough Riders have their hands full with the Toronto Argonauts so far today. Statistics after 2 quarters at the Skydome in Toronto show the Argonauts with 218 total yards to 186 for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Turnovers, 4 for Ottawa and 1 for the Argonauts. The 1 for the Argonauts did not cost Toronto a single point. 3 of those 4 turnovers against Ottawa cost a touchdown. So there were 3 touchdowns for the Argonauts in the span of 5 minutes in the second quarter.
The Ottawa Rough Riders, of course, minus 20. They are even worse in that category now, minus 24. And they take giveaway, and boy, that tells a story in a hurry about your season.
Graham on the return. This is Darnell Graham for the Argonauts, and he is dropped back near the 25 at the 26-yard line. Orville Lee on special teams for Ottawa makes the stop.
Darnell Graham is the backup wide receiver for the Argonauts today. He is a U.S. citizen, but he plays as a non-import because he did not play football in the U.S. in high school or college. Just decided to take it up as a hobby, I guess, when he graduated from university. Went to a free agent camp, and the Argonauts are playing him. He's got great speed, but boy, is he rough around the edges.
It'll be a first down for the Argonauts to get the second half underway. John Congenny good on 7 of 13 for 98 yards and a touchdown. Gil Finnerty carries the first play of the second half, and he had a pretty good first half. Patrick Wayne made the stop. Finnerty grabs 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. You know, until those turnovers came in rapid succession, the Ottawa Rough Riders were holding their own against the Argos, as the stats would indicate their lead in a 4-4 ball game at that stage.
Well, I think really critical, as I said at the end of the halftime highlight package, that Ottawa plays tough in the first half of the third quarter and just tries to work themselves slowly back into this game.
There's a break for the Rough Riders.
Things like that'll help them.
Dropped one that was certain first down.
Boy, the Argonauts have had a lot of drop footballs this year. You know, Darrell Smith, their leading receiver, boy, he could have been way out in front of the league had he been able to hang on to more of the passes thrown his way. Gil Finnerty should have had that one. Quarterbacks take a lot of heat when the statistics say they had a bad day, but so often the story is not told that the receivers have not done their job.
Harper faked one earlier. He will not do the same. Kicking from this spot on the field. Had one blocked. Final play of the half as well. There's Pee-wee. And he is out to the 47-yard line. Good field position for the Ottawa Rough Riders. First down, Ottawa. At the 47. Damon Allen goes to the far side. Intending it for McDonald, and he couldn't get close to it. Number 88. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Rough Riders. Ottawa trailing 25-11 early in the third quarter at the Skydome. looked like Gerald Alphen bringing that one down. It was a little short of the first down as Braisley came up to make the tackle.
Well, in the hook pattern, if you don't get it quickly and you're working your way back to the quarterback, you kind of run out of yards when you're looking for first down. Gerald Alphen did make a good catch, his 7th. Working on Carl Braisley, that's tough. He has to take him upfield, push off, and come back to the quarterback. He did not get far enough for a first down, but no question that Mike Roach will gamble at this point.
3rd down, a long yard to go. Chris Skinner, does he have the first down?
Boy, John, all day Chris Skinner has been really stutter-stepping as he's gone into the line in those short yardage situations, and I think that time it might have caught up with him. You've got to blast up in there, and he is just trying to make too many moves. Did that down the goal line, but got lucky and scored.
Request for a measure. We'll see how close it really was. Close. Another turnover.
It's in now.
So it's up to the Rough Rider defense once more. And the offense has put the defense in a great deal of hot water so far this afternoon.
Well, of course, that counts as a turnover, as you see on your screen there when you don't complete the 3rd down gamble. And really, I think Skinner's got a blast up in there.
Fake to Kennedy. Jimmy rolling right, being chased. Great catch by Paul Mazzani. Just short of a first down.
Well, he has a lot of potential, Paul Mazzani, in his 2nd year from Acadia. He, too, has had his problems this year with dropping some footballs, but a good touchdown catch in the 2nd quarter, and now a nice diving effort here to stay in bounds. That's a good catch. Had some injury problems. As a young Canadian, it takes time to learn a pro pass offense and all the different reads that you must make on every play.
Ottawa with some injury problems. Bob Forrest in at middle linebacker in place of Paul McGowan. Kennedy is on his way. Scott Flagel slowed him down. He was caught from behind by Alex Carter. Flagel stood his ground and lined up Kennedy, and Carter was able to make the tackle from behind.
Oh, what a block by 37, Warren Hudson. Watch to the left of your screen. There comes big Warren Hudson, the fullback, leading the play, and whack. He just destroys Daniel Hunter on the corner, and an easy cut for Gil Finnerty up the middle. Finnerty having himself a nice afternoon.
21 yards. Mark that down, Lee. 21 yards.
I got it.
Finnerty.
There you see, 46 yards away from his first 1,000-yard season.
From the 27, Kangemi, time to throw. Tipped away by Tyrone Pope. The intended receiver, number 23, Eric Hoskins.
Boy, all day to throw, though, for John Kangemi. Initially, he was looking to Paul Mazzani on the post pattern, and the offensive line gave him all kinds of time to throw that ball, and he looked off to his 2nd receiver, Eric Hoskins. Could not hit him, but nice job by that offensive line.
Second and 10. The Argonauts at the Ottawa 27. Early movement. Flags are down. And this is Hansen. For the Argonauts, look to be stopped. Grabbed a couple more. After that, Brian Hansen, number 34. Early movement from Lloyd Lewis would be a reasonable guess.
I would think so. No question they'll take the penalty.
Ken Lazarek is the referee this afternoon.
Ottawa 76, 2nd down.
So Lloyd Lewis, the offside penalty, gives John Kangemi another shot at it. I guess Lloyd Lewis, their most consistent defensive player over the last 4 years.
Perhaps the only one who's been around for the last 4 years in Ottawa. Kangemi, 2nd and 5. Got away from one. Somebody opened the end zone. Kangemi can't get it there. Fired it into the turf for Smith coming back. Darrell Smith, number 1, was the closest Argonaut receiver.
John Kajemi really wanted to hit Darrell Smith on the out and up down the sidelines. Just at the last second, the pressure came from Joe Somalo, and he looks for him one more time.
He wanted to hit him a couple of times, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and Alex Carter got right up on top of him.
Alex Carter is shaken up. Looking at that Ottawa defense, Leif, I would think that Lloyd Lewis is the only player who's been there over the past 4 years. Scott Flagel has been there over the past 3 weeks. Corners Hopper and Hunter are new this season. That's Chris Skinner, who was injured the last time he carried the football. Okay, Peter. Chris Skinner is front.
Yeah, Chris Skinner is getting a little attention to the rib area there, putting on a new flak jacket. He got banged up a couple of plays ago. It's a little sore. Keep your eye on him. I'm not sure he'll be able to go back in.
If he can't go back, they'll move Orville Lee into his spot and run with Lee and David Conrad out of the backfield. Enter Lance Chomik now. A 29-yard field goal try. And no mistake about that one. With 9:45 to play in the third quarter, the Argonauts had their lead to an even 20 points. Lance Chomik, good once more, and the Argos lead the Ottawa Rough Riders by a count of 31-11. 28-11 is the correct score. Leif, I was reading out the scoreboard here, and they were adding an extra 3 for the Argonauts.
Don't ever read the scoreboard. It got me into more trouble in the past 9 years I've been doing color.
28-11. Another turnover cost the Ottawa Rough Riders. That's 4 straight turnovers. The Ottawa Rough Riders have given up points after each one. Ready for the kickoff. Lance Chomik. Cornelius Reddick out to the 30. He ran into a bunch of Argonauts right there. The score is actually 28-11 by our count, but they've got 31 up on the scoreboard
They
here.
just changed it now.
Thank you very much.
You don't think Harry O did that, do
No,
you?
I don't think.
Extra 3 points,
No, I don't
a
think
little
so.
cushion?
He's got a pretty good lead going right now.
Okay.
9:36 to play in the third quarter. Well, the Ottawa Rough Riders indeed in some difficulty. First and 10 Ottawa, though, at the 30 right now. Damon Allen swings it out for Orville Lee, and Lee caught from behind by Willie Pless.
Tough to run a screen when you don't have any blockers out in front of you. Orville Lee sets up, but the 3 linemen just did not get out quickly enough, or maybe Orville Lee got out there too quickly. Nevertheless, not a very well correlated screen pass. There you see Lee. He's got to go up and block somebody first before he bounces it to the outside. Willie Pless, a good reaction to it.
Loss of 1, second and 11. Ottawa back to the 29 now. Charge is on. They call it a catch for Reddick. Good effort. And a first down by a half a step. Perfect pattern, that Leif.
Well, second time Reg Berry just cannot get out underneath the out, and Donnie Moen as well could not help out. Backside of his own coverage for a linebacker. He's got to fly out to that area and try and break up that out if he can.
Argos lead at 28-11. First down Ottawa. Across the 40 at the 41. Allen swings it across the middle for Orville Lee. He has 5. Stopped by by Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines in his third game at middle linebacker for the Toronto Argonauts. Now, he replaced Bruce Holmes, who was leading the team in tackles, had 5 interceptions, having a pretty good year, so you have to know what kind of a middle linebacker that they think Chris Gaines is going to be. He's got great speed. He's a punishing hitter. Doesn't really punish Orvalie here, but makes a nice tackle not to allow him any further yardage. Very hopeful that Chris Gaines will be their middle linebacker for a long time.
Mark Orvalie with a 4-yard gain. That makes this 2nd and 6. Allen had time. Now he's down. Harold Hallman through to make the stop and get the sack.
With a little help from his pal Kokamania. Eastern All-Star for the first time last year, Glenn Polka.
Actually, no sack there, Lee. They have moved the ball up to the original line of scrimmage. Now, it would seem to me that he just dumped that off, didn't he? And after he was held, doesn't really matter. Tom Schimmer, pretty good kick away. The pinball Clemens out to the 36-yard line. Tough afternoon for Damon Allen and the Ottawa Rough Riders. They trail the Argonauts 28-11. Game of the week. From the CFL, it is the Argonauts in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders 28-11.
John Kajemi had a fantastic day. I mean, they haven't hurt themselves. 8 of 17, 107 yards, 1 touchdown pass. That, of course, to Paul Mazzatti in the second quarter. But I guess the big thing is don't beat yourself, and he hasn't done that.
Gil Finnerty. Didn't appear to be much of a hole for Finnerty there, but he found some room and grabbed close to 9 yards. Stopped by Tyrone Pope, number 6.
Well, Sean McEwen, number 65, the right guard, did a lot of running to get around the corner there, and Gill has to wait for him to get in high gear. He gets the kick-out block on Pat Miller. Finnerty cuts it up inside. Nice 8.5-yard pickup, almost 9.
So it's 2nd and short for the Argos. And Finnerty gets the call once more. He has the first down across the 50 to the 53.
Well, if they get him on track, I see no problem for him to pick up his 1,000 yards right here in this game this afternoon against Ottawa.
Tackle made by replacement middle linebacker Bob Forrest. Good block on. Almost a smile, sort of a smirk as Obi tries to lock up the playoff spot for the Argonauts. The Argos do so with a win here over Ottawa this afternoon. 1st and 10. And Jimmy has time to go long. It's well over the head of Mazzatti. Daniel Hunter looked for the interception over his shoulder. Not a great throw.
Well, Mazzatti had no intention of going deep. You could hear Rick Johnson sending the play in with the pinball, number 31, Mike Clements, as he comes in and replaces Gil Finnerty. The pinball's had a couple of good runs this afternoon. Had one good run in the second quarter of 23 yards to set up his own touchdown.
Second and 10, Argos from the 53 to Jimmy. Too much for Eric Hoskins to hang on to. 5:19 to go, third quarter. The Argonauts lead the Rough Riders 28-11. Mike Roach patrolling the sidelines for Ottawa this afternoon. On 3rd down, back near his 40. Deep for Ottawa, Pee Wee Thurman. Harper aims it to the far side. Pee Wee is a pretty smart kick returner, isn't he?
Pee Wee said, I'm out of here. Exit stage right.
5 Argonauts were right on top of Pee Wee that time, and he headed for the sidelines. The Argonauts lead the Ottawa Rough Riders 28-11 with 4:55 to play in the third quarter. Live at the Sky Dome. First, make that second down for Ottawa, and Will Gillis didn't get a chance to get it away. The Argonauts were moving early.
League of procedure. Ottawa number 4. Second down repeated.
Toronto with 270 total yards compared to 258 for the Ottawa Rough Riders. The turnover is still the big story. Time of possession, not such a big deal anymore either, Lee.
Nope. Turnovers, story of this game. Argonauts with 3 touchdowns in a row off 3 turnovers by the Ottawa Rough Riders in the second quarter of this ball game.
This is 2nd and 13 for Ottawa now. Will Gillis is grabbed. Harold Hallman.
Interesting to see Willie Pless and Harold Hallman together there. Back in 1986, he was the runner-up to Harold Hallman for the Shenley Rookie of the Year. Willie Gillis comes up limping, not a good sign. Damon Allen, I don't think, can come back in the football game. So,
Who is the 3rd-string quarterback for the Ottawa Rough Riders?
my guess would be Ken Abraire, number 17, the slot back.
He was a kicker in college, punter in college, punt return specialist as well. Abraire. It's Will Gillis, number 4, and he is in agony right now. The other Ottawa quarterback dressed for this one this afternoon has his hand encased in ice on the sidelines. Ken Abraire, perhaps. What about Scott Flagel? No?
That's possible. Scott's a good athlete. I don't know if he knows how to call the signals, though. That's the only problem. You always like to have an offensive guy as your disaster quarterback.
Did you ever get a turn?
No.
You were just a disaster, right?
I got to play defense. So I played defensive back in a disaster situation for the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Actually picked off a pass against Joe Pisarcik. Let's have a look and see the ankle. Harold Hallman lands right on top of it. The ankle gets squashed underneath him, and that did not look good. Anyway, I picked off a Joe Pisarcik pass, returned it 20 yards.
20 yards.
Set up the winning touchdown.
Really?
Honest to God.
What year was that?
1975, I believe. Regina.
Show you one more time what happened to Will Gillis here. It is not good news for Ottawa.
It's the right ankle. Watch now. Harold Hallman is going to just fall right down on top of it. There it is, planted right there and squashed.
But now watch a little. Oh, okay. It is 3rd and 15, so the Ottawa Rough Riders will not have to make a quarterbacking decision for a moment or two. No one seems to be warming up on the sidelines.
Rather quickly, the team doctor is taping up Damon Allen's left thumb quickly. See if they can get him back.
Shimmer barely got that one away, but it is a good kick. Chasing the pinball, Mike Clemens. Back, Clemens escaped once.
He does look like a pinball, doesn't he? Bing bong, bing bong.
All right, who will be the next quarterback of the Ottawa Rough Riders? Peter Watts has the answer, we think.
Is that Steve Howlett is the next in line with both Willie Gillis and now Damon Allen down and out for at least a couple of plays. So it looks like Steve Howlett will move over from the slot back spot and be the quarterback the next time Ottawa gets the ball.
Okay, Peter, meantime, it is an Argonaut first down. Good defensive move by Pat Miller, number 38. 2nd and 10.
There's Steve Hallett getting himself ready in case he has to come in. Originally a slot back with the Edmonton Eskimos. Backup slot back here today. Backup quarterback.
The Jemmy on 2nd and 10. Out of the backfield, and the Argonauts will come up short of a first down. Gil Finnerty has been an efficient receiver for the Argonauts so far this afternoon, but he's short on this 2nd and 10 situation. A gain of 5.
Now, do you think his heart's pounding just a touch?
I would wonder. I would wonder what's going through his mind right now.
Yeah, you know, I think it'll be fun for him. See what he can do. What the heck?
Maybe run the option a lot. What do you think?
Well, I think he'll get rid of it in a hurry.
This is Pee Wee Thurman. And the Argonauts surround him. No return. 48-yard kick.
Oh, here he comes. Steve Hallett from the University of Toronto, originally only 5'11", 180 pounds. Originally played with the Edmonton Eskimos for a couple of seasons. As a slot back there, was released. When Steve Goldman took over the head coaching job with the Ottawa Rough Riders, he wanted Steve Hallett to come to Ottawa and try it with their club. He made it. And now he gets to play quarterback. So we'll see what he can do.
Well, he gets to quarterback in his hometown, born in Scarborough. Handing off quickly to Orville Lee, and procedure is called.
Snap count staggered a little bit.
It can happen to a quarterback who's not played it down in the CFL.
Legal procedure. Ottawa number 58, decline.
Probably would have lost my voice by now.
You would have been squeaky out there. I know you would have been.
I think so.
I can hear you.
Well, there's Willie Gillis getting a tape job. I hope they put the rollout in for him. Just let him try and run away from some pressure.
2nd down and 8. Well, he's got the rollout happening. He fired a little bit short.
Only the toughest pass for a quarterback to throw. Roll to your left, throw back to your right. Steve, I admire you.
Gerald Wilcox was the intended receiver.
Don't throw the easy ones. Go right to the tough stuff. It's good style for him. They'll get him outside so he can cut the field in half and doesn't have to read a whole bunch of coverages. He's actually looking for Alphen. And the shot put it that one about 3 yards short. This is tough. You got to play quarterback, run down, cover punts.
Nice easy motion for Schimmer as he gets this away. For pinball. And he breaks one tackle, still going. The quarterback finally drags him down. Howlett, number 32, over to make the tackle on punt return coverage.
They got to give him a raise after today.
He's working 3 jobs. Steve Howlett now quarterbacking the Ottawa Rough Riders. The Riders in some difficulty as they trail the Toronto Argonauts 28-14. Mike Pinball Clemens on this kick return, a punt. Flagel missed the tackle. Steve Howlett, who is just quarterback for Ottawa, comes and makes the tackle. He looks like underneath the mask. I don't think he was planning this afternoon. Now, whether or not Damon Allen comes in is the next question we'll hope to get an answer to. They were taping his hand, and he was taking a few snaps down there on the sidelines, Lee.
Well, you know, if he, as he indicated to Peter Watts, the initial diagnosis from the doctor was ligament drops in the thumb. If that's the case, I would not play him. His future is too valuable to this club. I would keep him on the sideline.
Argonauts with great field position. Beginning at the 55, right at midfield. Kangemi looking for Smith. John Kangemi has had some difficulty finding his targets in the second half. Daryl Hopper covering. Sorry,
not reading the coverages properly, John. You know, you're running an out and up to your slot back now. Ottawa was sitting back in a deep zone coverage, and you know, he just threw right into the heart of it. Had that ball stayed in bounds, I'm sure Daryl Hopper would have had a tremendous chance to pick it off. John, just at times, you know, he's got to read the right things and throw to the right spots. That certainly wasn't the right spot.
Rick Johnson.
Yeah, he may get a shot.
2nd and 10, Argonauts. At midfield, Kangemi for Smith. He could have made that catch. 28-14, the Argonauts lead. They have not put the Ottawa Rough Riders away, and they had several opportunities to do so. Ottawa still within 2 touchdowns, any kind of a break at all, and we can still have a good finish to this ball game at the Skydome.
Well, they really could. You know, the Argonauts took advantage of some early breaks. Now in the 3rd quarter, just have totally stalled. Looks as though Damon Allen's going to come back in the ball game. He's got the helmet on the sideline, so I would think we will see him.
No return for Pee Wee Thurman. And Damon Allen leads the Rough Riders onto the field. They have taped up his left hand, and we'll see how he does handling the snap with all that tape on.
On the sidelines, he took a few practice snaps from the center, Irv Damon, and really looked like he was making sure that left hand didn't touch the ball at all. Willie Gullis, he will not see any more action this afternoon with that ankle injury.
Rough Riders begin from the 20. That one batted down. Into the pass for David Conrad, number 25.
Big Glenn Kolka got the hands up as he came in on the pass rush. Didn't look like he had any problems there handling the football. I take it back. It was Rodney Harding, number 77, with the tip.
2nd and 10, Ottawa. Rough Riders trailing by 2 touchdowns, 28-14. Allen looks deep. He's picked out for Reggie Pleasant. And now Pleasant on the return. Next at the 50. Another turnover cost the Ottawa Rough Riders. But there is a flag down back behind the line of scrimmage. So hang on 1 second.
Holding Ottawa, so I'm sure this interception will stand. They got Kari Lee Wrinkle, the right tackle, on the holding call, and Reggie Pleasant will have his 2nd interception of the afternoon.
And another turnover going against the Ottawa Rough Riders. 10:02 to play till the final gun sounds at the Skydome this afternoon. The Rough Riders trail by 2 touchdowns to the Argonauts. 3 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in the final quarter. The Argonauts out in front of the Rough Riders, 35-15. Field goal would have added to the Argonauts total, but a penalty against Ottawa gives the Argonauts a shot at another touchdown. It'll be 1st down, goal to go, Argonauts from the 3. Johnson, the penalty, the exchange did not work, and the Ottawa Rough Riders have a shot at recovery. Who came up with the football? Penalty got it back. Play in from the bench. Mike Roach, an 8-year CFL veteran, coaching the Ottawa Rough Riders this afternoon. Steve Goldman has taken keeper. Another timeout on the field. The Argonauts, 2nd and 6. The ball on the 6. The Argos with a healthy lead. Rick Johnson at the controls for the Argonauts. Just nicely into the game and looking for a touchdown here. Argos with a 2nd down and 6 to go. For the touchdown, so it'll be 2nd and goal to go. Argos from the Ottawa 6. Too many turnovers, the story for Ottawa this afternoon.
Well, the game was lost in the 2nd quarter. 3 turnovers in a row, 3 touchdowns for the Argonauts, and kind of all she wrote. I think as Bob Abilovich looks back at this game, he'll certainly congratulate the defense on a solid effort this afternoon, only giving up 14 points. Never really been in jeopardy. Offense, well, sputtered a little bit. A couple of good things they've done well. No turnovers.
Johnson looking to the end zone. Double coverage on Hoskins. Eric Hoskins.
Now, once again, when you get the double coverage inside, you've got to throw to the outside. The Argonauts are going to gamble here on 3rd down.
2 minutes and 45 seconds till full time. 3rd and goal to go from the 6.
Oh, why on 3rd and 2 before? Obi kicked, and now on 3rd and goal, they go for it.
Must be some strategy here.
Must be something.
Johnson for Smith. Touchdown. Darrell Smith had the dropsies earlier. He has a touchdown now.
Well, he juggled that one a little bit, but was able to hang on in spite of the hit from number 30, Kyle Hall. Rick Johnson with his first touchdown pass in the Canadian Football League in 1989, working on the comeback. Good throw to Johnson. Smith uses his size to block out Kyle Hall and really does concentrate nicely to make that touchdown catch. His 2nd, surprisingly enough, of 1989 last year. Had a great year for Darrell Smith. 10 touchdown receptions.
Lance Chomick adds to the Argonaut total. It is now an insurmountable lead for the Ottawa Rough Riders with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go.
I'm sure Rick Johnson feels pretty good about his first touchdown pass.
Has been rolling around this afternoon. 42 to 15, the Argonauts lead the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Didn't need a whole lot of gas this year, but today I really had a full tank.
The Argonaut offense comes to life, taking advantage of some costly turnovers in the 2nd quarter to build up a pretty good lead. John Kajemi came out in the 2nd half and struggled a bit, but he really didn't need to get too much going for the Argonauts with a big lead.
That's the thing. When your defense is playing well, you don't want to take too many chances. They didn't.
Now Mike Roach will remember his debut as a CFL head coach, but not fondly. Chomick squibs it along in the ground. Zorble Lee on the return. Lee slams his way out to the 53-yard line. And Darrell Smith has scored the latest Argonaut touchdown. A 6-yard toss from Rick Johnson.
I said he had 10 touchdowns last year. He had 7. Last year in 1987 he had 10. This year only a couple. In order for them to take a run at the Eastern Conference, they have to have Darrell Smith playing at his fullest capability.
Damon Allen in trouble and got away from it. Right along the sidelines. Barry was over covering on Ray McDonald that time. That's Ed Barry, number 13. Not to be confused with number 21, Reg Berry, who plays the halfback spot defensively on the other side of the Argos.
Good hockey game tonight later on TSN.
Montreal at Boston.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Jim Houston
Jim Van Horn.
Van Horn, all at the Boston Garden tonight. As we kick off a brand new NHL season on TSN, 7:30 Eastern tonight. I think there's still 2:19 to go.
Rodney Harding's third sack of the afternoon. He has had himself a nice afternoon.
Can you hear the ghosts of the Oakland Athletics echoing around this building? Up there somewhere is Jose Canseco. Down there somewhere.
Boy, he hit
Ricky
one.
Henderson running around the base path like Tom Schimmer will have to do here. And come up with it, bounced right up for Reggie Pleasant. Quite a day for Reggie. Pleasant has the touchdown. A couple of interceptions and a touchdown. Bad snap. Another turnover, another touchdown. Mazzotti chasing after it here. It's out of gas. It's out of gas.
Folks struggling. Well, they launched this one. Tom Schimmer with no chance.
Now here's Mazzotti.
Yeah, here he comes. You were a little early on that. That's all right.
Mazzotti actually flips it up to Pleasant somehow or other. Gets an assist on the touchdown by Reggie Pleasant. Over the head of Schimmer.
Doesn't really seem like a 49-15 game, does it?
I think the scoreboard is correct at this moment, my friend.
Okay, I guess so.
Day for Ottawa veterans. There have been far too many over the past few years. Minutes to go. The Argos keep going. They can still hit 60. 49-15. Turnovers are always costly. I don't remember seeing a time when they have proved this costly every time. That must be 5 touchdowns the Argos have as a direct result of turnovers.
Well, it certainly has been the Ottawa Rough Riders' problem this year. They certainly have a lot of other problems, but it seems like every game we do, the turnover has played a major part in their downfall.
Damon Allen is already too hurt to be playing, but he's still out there because his backup, Will Gillis, is even more seriously injured on the sidelines. Gillis has an ankle problem. Damon Allen has some strained ligaments in his left thumb. Gerald Alphen couldn't bring it in. Got one hand on the ball. A minute 48.
Tough year, at least one bright light for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Gerald Alphen could not hang on to that football, but he really has had an outstanding season.
Alphen has spent some time at outside receiver this season. Most of the time he's been inside, but injuries have forced that to happen. Here's Damon Allen doing a little himself. Grabs the first down as he slides safely near midfield.
Protect that thumb, Damon. Finnerty, he had a good afternoon. Bobby Layden, what did Gil Finnerty finish rushing this afternoon? 104 for Gil Finnerty. Oh, he comes up a little short on that 1,000-yard, 7 yards away. He'll get it next week.
Minute 32 to go. This is an Ottawa first down. Time has run out on the Rough Riders. It is 49-15. Damon Allen playing at the string. To the Ottawa's third straight loss to the Argonauts. Cornelius Reddick makes the catch. And boy, it looks like an infirmary down there, doesn't it?
Yeah, Chris Skinner was hurt. Willie Gillis, Damon Allen.
Ice pack there for
Michelle Lammy.
Miller.
Michelle Lammy went out early.
Middle linebacker Paul McGowan is in the dressing room. He hasn't seen any action for a long time. Ray McDonald can't bring that one in. Well, Obi's in the playoffs, the Argonauts. After a tough 5 weeks, are on the rebound. Big win last week. They clinched today against Ottawa. 1:07 to play. Wilcox makes the catch. Chris Gaines makes the hit.
Reg Berry had him tied up, and Chris Gaines, who we were told is a punishing tackler in that middle, lays the lumber on him.
Into the final minute now. The Ottawa Rough Riders trailing the Argonauts 49-15. Damon Allen has a bit of a march going as the Argos lay off just a little bit. Wilcox another catch. Down to the 15. A little easier to move against the Argonauts at this stage of things.
I'm sure they still would not like to be scored upon, but I don't think they're as intense as they were 10 or 15 minutes ago.
Seconds remaining. Ottawa with a first down. The Argonaut 15. Here's Damon Allen. May carry himself. Allen gets inside the 5 to the 4.
Boy, he is a graceful runner. Nice glide when he gets out.
He's the leading rusher on the Ottawa Rough Riders.
I don't think you like that.
I don't think you really do. At least not at this stage of the season.
Look at a great quarterback in the NFL like a Randall Cunningham. He's led his team in rushing too. So
what about Tracy Ham? He must be right up there. I would think that he might be the leading Eskimo rusher.
Reggie Taylor's got to be ahead of him. Let's
check that out for me.
All right, we'll check it out for you.
6 seconds to go. Touchdown. No flags down. Sorry about that. Reggie Taylor is the leading rusher on the Eskimos. But Tracy Ham, I bet, is the
leading
top
rusher
5.
in the league.
Top 5 for Tracy. Check that out. Is in the top 5, 737 yards. The Argonauts have this one in the bag. 1 second remaining. Last minute touchdown for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Last second touchdown for Ottawa. Damon Allen tosses to the end zone. Two-point conversion try. Allen throws it up. Jump ball. Flags down. Conrad had a shot at it, number 25. Time has run out, but the game won't end on a penalty. Now a fight erupts down at the goal line. Brad Tierney. Gerald Bayless. 55 and 99.
you do is hurt your hands in those ones. I don't know why they start. I guess it's natural to swing for the head, but
they're not going to let this game end mercifully, are they?
nope.
Maybe they are. Gun sounds and the Ottawa Rough Riders lose again. Simply too many turnovers for Ottawa as Bobo Vilovich leads the Argonauts into the playoffs. He has never missed since taking over as head coach. And maybe the Argonauts are about to turn things around a little bit offensively, because there was a much better display here than what we have seen in previous Argonaut games.
Well, Bobo Vilovich talks consistently about execution, and that's the style of offense they have. It's not a big play style offense. It's an execution style, and did a lot better job this afternoon. I thought John Congemi, the numbers weren't great, but the big thing is he didn't hurt himself, had a couple of touchdown passes. I think Obi would be pleased.
All right, Peter standing by with today's Game Star.
John, thank you. The Foster's MVP for this game, running back Gil Finnerty with 104 yards on the ground. And here is one of the early touchdowns that he scored as the Argonauts exploded for 24 points in the second quarter. And that was really the key, as he is the Foster's Game Star and joins us now briefly. 4 yards short of 1,000 for the season. Nice to finally win one. Nice to be able to walk off the field, because there haven't been too many games that you haven't had to get some assistance this year.
Yeah, this was a fun game tonight. One of the first in this season. You know, things worked, and it's you know, people are going to say it was Ottawa, but you know, they're a good team, and we've always been saying this. It's better to put it together in the end of the year than the beginning of the year, and we're just, you know, we got 4 more games and in the playoffs, and it's like a whole new season for us. Starting last week was Winnipeg. We just raised our intensity, and you know, we just, you know, hopefully we can keep this going and you know, be a sleeper. You know, it seems like in this league the underdog's always done well, so you know, we're in a pretty good position. We just got to stay positive and keep things moving along.
He answered all the questions. Thanks for coming by.
All right, thank you.
Gil Finnerty, our Foster's MVP for